Hello guys, welcome to our new movie recap channel. I've got a surprise for you waiting at the end of this video, so make sure you watch till the end. Our movie starts with a military unit in Angola prepping for a deadly mission. Their goal? Nailing the biggest armed militia involved in drug and child trafficking. The unit's intel says that Sergei Ibex, the younger brother of the militia bosses, Ivan and Lazar, is holed up in a fortress near the capital. The plan to get to Lazar is to snatch his brother, interrogate him, and get all the dirt on his operations. The unit's leader is Riggs. He laid out the whole plan and told them the operation wasn't officially recorded. No one knew about this mission but them. They start closing in, slowly, until they breach the place. They take out one guard, and Jessica Brok manages to catch Ibex in the bathroom. She starts torturing him to get the location of the kidnapped kids. But here's the weird part. Riggs finds the place totally quiet. Nobody else is there except the dead guard and Ibex. We learn that the militia snatches kids, sticks them in coffins, live streams their videos, and blackmails their families. If the families don't pay up, they auction off the kids. While the unit was sweeping the place, Ibex claimed the kids were right there. At the same time, they find a live feed of the children. They start tracking the signal to find them. Riggs orders Jessica to grab Ibex and get outside to take him with them. But when the rest of the unit goes into the area, they find a coffin, open it, and realize it's just a laptop. Riggs gets it. It's a trap. They try to bail out fast, but the doors slam shut. In seconds, the militia lobs a grenade at them and attacks, killing the rest of the unit. Then, Lazar shows up and orders his men to attack anyone still alive. Amidst the gunfire, Sergei Ibex manages to bolt. Jessica gets hit. When she tries to call her teammates on their comms, Lazar answers her. He tells her there's an African saying, "If you want to catch your prey, let it think it's the predator." He set a trap, and they walked right into it. Jessica starts freaking out and tries to escape any way she can. Meanwhile, the militia is celebrating their win. They also manage to grab a guy named Daniel, who's still alive after the grenade blast. When Jessica hears his voice, she's torn. Should she go back to save him or run because she's injured? Despite her injury, she refuses to give up. She decides to go back because Lazar threatens to kill her if she doesn't. Jessica creeps up, sees their brother Ivan, and pounces, killing him instantly. Ibex and Lazar are stunned to see their brother die in front of them. She hides quickly, hears a gunshot, and realizes Daniel has been killed. 12 years later, in South Africa, we see Jessica with a woman named Kim. They're talking about a hawk Jessica saved and healed, then set free. But the twist is, Kim calls Jessica Linda. Jessica's life in South Africa is quiet and normal. She's gone from a military unit member to helping villagers against predators and treating pets. But on the way home, after dropping off Kim, Jessica sees a car following her. She feels she's being watched, and the fear starts showing. She's so stressed she almost hits another car and brakes hard, but the supposed surveillance car just drives right past and keeps going. Jessica feels like she overreacted. Back home, Jessica's anxiety flares up. She doesn't feel safe anymore. When her daughter cuts her hand and screams, Jessica instantly grabs a knife and rushes out. Nikki points out it's just a scratch. Jessica explains that the only way she knows how to protect her is the way she's always done it. The next day, Kim gets a call about a cobra hiding in a house. When she and Jessica arrive, they realize it's a common, non-venomous snake, so they take it and leave. But suddenly, they're ambushed by the gang of a guy named Henry. Jessica had him arrested for drug trafficking 2 years ago, and now he's out for revenge. Then, a man intervenes, attacking Henry and his crew. It's Daniel, her former military teammate, the one she thought was dead. She hugs him, unable to believe he's alive. She tells Kim to take the supplies home and stay with Nikki until she gets back. Nikki is surprised her mom has friends besides Aunt Kim. Jessica and Daniel sit down to talk about what went down after the operation. We learn they were in a relationship before the mission. He tells her he woke up in a hospital bed and an Angolan cop was interrogating him. When he got better, he was locked up for 12 years in a Luanda prison. There he met some gangs who eventually trusted him enough to help him escape. He tells her he looked for any record of their mission, but found nothing. Riggs was right. The operation wasn't logged. He asks about her life, if she got married or had kids, but she lies, saying she lives alone and her life is stable. Then she asks how he found her. He says he knows Linda Harper is one of her favorite aliases. He searched for that name in records until he tracked her down. Daniel starts talking about their old relationship, but she tells him that was years ago and asks what he wants. He says the gang that broke him out needs him to repay the favor. They want her help to secure a high-value target in the Congo. She tries to gracefully decline, saying she's not the person she used to be and won't be any help. She tells him to leave his number and she'll call with her answer. But at the same time, she's texting her friend Kim. When he presses for an answer now, she insists she has to go. She leaves him, gets in her car, terrified and shaking, and tries to call Kim immediately. But someone pops up behind her and starts choking her. Daniel comes out after her, followed by the rest of the gang. They grab her and speed away, but Daniel's face falls. He sees a photo of Jessica and her daughter on her phone background. They take her to an armed camp, and the big surprise? The guy who shows up is Lazar, the militia boss from 12 years ago. He tells her he hasn't forgotten her and has been looking for her ever since. He reminds her he won't forget her killing Ivan. The even bigger shock? Daniel has been working with them all along. He betrayed her and handed her over. Lazar starts praising Ivan's accomplishments, the projects he ran, and the homes he opened, saying her actions cut off all the aid he used to provide. Sergei Ibex arrives and gets close to her. She curses him, saying her entire team died because of him. Lazar corrects her, pointing out that not everyone died, meaning Daniel. He starts choking her and tells her they're going to torture, cut up, and burn her until she begs to die. She won't die until he allows it. He leaves her with his men to amuse themselves and walks out. Daniel is sitting nearby, smoking and clearly stressed. Lazar walks up and tells him not to forget that she left him to die and ran away. He reminds Daniel that he saved his life and kept him with his men for the last 12 years. He gives Daniel permission to talk to her and ask why she did it, but Daniel says he needs to sort out his thoughts first. Lazar is starting to get suspicious. He tells one of his men, Mateo, to keep an eye on Daniel because he doesn't trust him anymore. He also puts Mateo in charge if he's not around. A little while later, Daniel goes to Jessica and asks why she never told him she had a daughter. He shows her her phone. She asks if he told them anything about her. He assures her he didn't and says if she'd told him from the start that she had a child, he never would have done this. She begs him to help her and call the police, but he tells her there's no cell service in the whole area. The closest point is miles away. Then he blows up at her. He yells that she has no idea how he lived those 12 years feeling betrayed after she abandoned him. He tells her she deserves what's happening to her now. He smashes a bottle over her shoulder, looks at her, and kicks a piece of glass toward her hand before walking out. At night, Jessica starts trying to cut the rope. Mateo is talking about Jessica, saying she's the only woman at the camp. To clear the area, he orders the other guards to patrol the camp perimeter. He goes into Jessica's room and tries to assault her, but she's managed to free herself. She attacks him, and when he tries to kill her, she makes a quick escape. The whole camp, including Daniel, rushes toward Mateo. Mateo immediately accuses Daniel of helping her and orders his men to arrest him. Jessica starts running away from the camp into the jungle. When Lazar arrives, his wife, Sherry, wants to kill Daniel. But Lazar says Daniel is the best animal he's managed to tame in years, and he knows how to handle him. Lazar gathers his men and tells them Daniel gave them a great chance to test their skills and hunt Jessica. He tells them they must respect her skills and not underestimate her. He orders them to move fast before she gets out of the camp. He stands with Sherry and tells her she has to stay behind. He trusts no one but her, and all the paid guards let her escape. Despite her protests, she agrees to wait for him. Jessica gets a nail stuck in her leg and slows down. One of Lazar's men, Beek, spots her. He chases her on his motorcycle and shoots at her, but she snatches a wire from the camp's fence, ties it to a tree. When he sees her and charges, the wire trips him. He's severely injured and starts to die. Jessica goes back, takes his boots and bag. She tries to take the motorcycle, but the crash broke it. When she sees a car light nearby, she runs away fast. We see Lazar in the car, talking to a guy named Joe. He says Jessica is right ahead, but she can't see him. He tells Joe to keep an eye on her until the rest of the guys get there, but Joe doesn't listen and starts following her. Jessica hides to tie up her bleeding hand. Joe takes the chance and gets closer. When she tries to move, he attacks and starts hitting her. He thinks she's weak and easy prey. He ignored Lazar's first warning not to underestimate her, and his second warning to wait for backup. Because of that, she manages to kill him. Meanwhile, Lazar arrives at Beek's body and sees the trap. He also notices she cut the gas hose on the motorcycle. Since she couldn't use it, she made sure no one else could chase her with it. But another gang member, Igor, spots her. He hits her leg with an arrow, but she manages to hit his shoulder and throws a Molotov cocktail at him. While he's trying to put out his burning arm, she runs away. When Lazar finds out two of his men are dead, he calls Sherry and tells her to deal with Daniel. Sherry goes to Daniel and tells him she won't spare him if he tries to betray her. She says he lived with them for a long time and knows she doesn't joke around. She asks him for anything they can use to find Jessica or a weakness she has. Daniel immediately thinks of his daughter, but he knows they won't spare him even if he tells them. He snaps at her, yelling that he's been following them like a lunatic in the jungle for 12 years. He says he hasn't known anything about her for 12 years. How could he know her weakness? But Sherry is insistent and sure he knows a lot about her. She takes off his shoe, starts cutting off his toes, and tells him Jessica's weakness is that she loves hearing people scream in pain. We see one of Lazar's men, Ohm, setting up mines in the jungle. In the morning, he wakes up Igor, who's sleeping in the car. He tells him not to sleep in a place like this because a predator has escaped. Jessica has moved further away until she reaches an old cabin. She tries to clean and bandage the wound on her leg, but her blood trail helps them find the cabin she's in. Igor and Ohm agree to surround the cabin. She watches them until she sees the car door open outside. She runs to it but realizes it's a trap, and Igor starts shooting at the car. Ohm also returns and starts shooting recklessly. At the same time, Igor is trying to kill her with a sniper rifle. But as usual, Lazar's men underestimate Jessica. Ohm tells Igor to stop shooting at him. Igor gets angry and fires another shot. The whole car explodes, burning Ohm. Luckily for Jessica, she was far from the car. When she sees Igor getting out, she rushes to grab the arrow on the ground, but he catches her first. He tells her she thinks she can pay him back with the arrow he shot her with. He says he's not the guy who dies from one arrow and breaks it. When he turns to grab his rifle, she pulls out the crossbow she found and kills him. Lazar uses the smoke from the car to pinpoint their location and speeds over there. Ohm is still alive and tells Lazar she escaped in his hatchback in that direction. After Lazar gets all the information he needs, he kills him. Sergei starts getting worried. He tells Lazar they have to stop the chase. He says she'll reach the city in an hour anyway, and they need to cut their losses and clean up the area, but Lazar refuses. He thinks Sergei is a coward and tells him they haven't lost anything to cut. As Jessica is driving, Sherry calls her. She lets Jessica hear her daughter Nikki's voice. She tells her she found Nikki through her phone after torturing Daniel for a bit. After checking Jessica's messages with her friend Kim, she found her house. She also says she killed Kim so no one would look for her or her daughter. Jessica is stunned. Her worst fear has come true, and she doesn't know what to do. Then Lazar cuts in. He tells her she has to return to the camp today or they'll kill Nikki. He assures her he doesn't want to hurt the child, but she doesn't believe him. Still, she's forced to go back to save her daughter. When they reach the camp, the conflict between Sergei and Lazar flares up again. Sergei is angry they kidnapped the girl. Lazar wants Sergei to toughen up because he sees him as soft, only able to hunt animals. He's the only one in the gang who's never killed anyone. Then, Lazar hands him Ivan's weapon. He tells him he must kill her to avenge his brother. He says he needs to show all the gangs that the Ibex family doesn't forget a debt. Finally, he tells him to be a man for once. Nikki is locked up next to Daniel. He calmly pulls out a cigarette and asks if she has a lighter. She says she's 11 and doesn't smoke, so he apologizes. He sees a military chain she's wearing and asks about it. She tells him her mother made it as a tribute to her father. She says her mother told her her dad sacrificed his life to save them before she was even born. In that moment, Daniel realizes he wronged her. He understands she is his daughter, and he made the biggest mistake of his life by putting his old lover's and daughter's lives in danger. He asks if he can keep the chain. She agrees because she has another one. Sergei and one of his men go out to look for Jessica. They find the hatchback. He calls Lazar and tells him the gas is gone and the engine is still hot, so she must be close. While he's still talking, he takes a bullet to the head. Jessica rushes to the car to look for weapons, but Sergei surprises her by moving toward the car. She attacks him quickly. They fight. Sergei manages to push her into the water and tries to drown her, but she grabs a knife from the water, stabs him in the leg, then his hand, and escapes. She goes to the car, and when he follows her with the knife, she throws alcohol bottles at him. When he gets close, she pulls out a lighter and burns him. As he screams, she grabs the comms. Lazar hears his screams. Jessica tells Lazar if he doesn't let her daughter go, she'll come back and kill them all, one by one. She threatens to torture him until he begs her to die, but he won't die until she agrees. Lazar starts to panic and show weakness, especially after losing his other brother because because of her. He orders his men to dig a grave for Nikki. He puts her in it, sets up a camera over the grave, and covers the whole thing with a car. He tells Jessica, "This is your daughter's life for my brother's life." Daniel watches his daughter being buried, unable to do anything. Sherry goes to Lazar and tells him not to be upset. Sergey was going to die anyway because he was weak. Lazar gets furious and almost hits her, but she says she'll go get Jessica. When he insists on going himself, he tells Mateo to get ready to move, but Sherry says the car keys are inside. When he goes to grab them, he hears the car drive away. When he goes out, she's gone. As Jessica is moving, she trips a mine set in the jungle. Luckily, she was far from the blast point. Daniel shouts for Lazar. When Lazar enters, Daniel hits him with his free hand and knocks him to the ground. He grabs the keys and unlocks his other hand. They fight hard. Daniel is about to choke him, but Lazar slips away. Finally, Lazar stabs him in the stomach with a dagger. He tells him, "You're a traitor, not a hero," and walks away. Jessica wakes up to see Sherry driving the car and Mateo above her with an assault rifle. She quickly grabs her weapon, escapes, hides behind a tree, and starts shooting at them until she hits Sherry. The car flips. Her mistake is thinking Mateo is dead. She leaves him and goes to Sherry, but Mateo comes up behind her and starts hitting her. He tells her her daughter is buried and he's going to dig her up and rape her. She manages to break free, grabs her weapon, and shoots him until his body is shredded. She goes to Sherry, who is injured and knows she's about to die. Sherry offers a truce. If Jessica saves her life, Lazar will forgive her, but Jessica isn't stupid. She decides to kill her. She calls Lazar and tells him she's killed his brother and his wife. She tells him she's coming for him next. The tables have turned. Lazar gathers his men. He tells them Jessica Brok will be there soon and she'll be armed. He stresses that everyone needs to stay put and shoot her on sight. He quickly gathers all his things: his money, fake documents. He also turns on the live feed camera that monitors Nikki in her grave to see if she's still buried. At the same time, Jessica arrives and starts shooting everyone in the camp. Lazar engages her, but fear makes him grab his stuff, take his car, and bolt. But we see Daniel, barely moving. He grabs a rifle and starts shooting at Lazar's car until he hits him in the shoulder. Lazar hits Daniel with the car and knocks him to the ground. When Jessica reaches Daniel, he points her toward where Nikki is buried. She sees the chain in his hand and realizes he knows everything. She quickly moves the car off the grave and starts digging to get Nikki out. Daniel goes to slow Lazar down. Lazar shoots him and says, "I should have left you to die in Angola, just like Jessica did." Lazar sees her trying to dig up the grave and shoots at her. She hides fast until he runs out of ammo, but he gets close and keeps hitting her. That's when she sees her daughter's hand under the dirt. She tries to pull her out, but Lazar drags her away and keeps hitting her. She grabs the rhino horn from his bag and kills him with it. Before he dies, she tells him she's not weak like he thought. She quickly pulls out her daughter and Daniel. They get in the car to leave. Her daughter asks if they might run into anyone else from the gang on the road. Jessica tells her they might, but they should pray that they don't have to kill them. That's the end of the movie. All right, guys, as I promised, 5 random people will win prizes from our channel. All you have to do is like, subscribe, and comment "done" down below. Don't miss your chance. Winners will be announced soon. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.